Morning, everyone. We are currently on the Mogollon Rim, starting our first hike of the day, and hopefully I have the strength for it because last night was troubling for sleep. But up here we have quite a few unique species that we're looking for. Arizona mountain king, Arizona black rattlesnake, black-tailed rattlesnakes, pinch noses, whip snakes, and a few other things too. So we're going to be hiking along the trail a little bit and seeing what all we might be able to find. Butterflies, anybody? Look at them all. Now, it's not a salamander or a snake, but got this little tiny praying mantis of some kind wandering around. It looks similar to the one we saw, what was it, up in the Chiricahuas about a month ago. So that's cool. Don't know if they're adult or not at this stage. This is like a wingless male or what, but cool to see. And very, very tiny. Well, it ain't much, but there's one of the Scaloporus lizards there. It's like a male losing his breeding colors. Not gonna be able to get any closer to him though. He keeps scurrying away. I'll figure out which species this is and try and put it on here. Probably the northern plateau.
Unfortunately, that first little hike didn't produce a whole lot more than this wild geranium here, so I headed slightly down the mountain to where the canyon was a little deeper and had a little more variable habitat.
There's wild blackberries just about everywhere you look up here. They're a little on the sour side, but edible nonetheless. And they cover the hillsides here.
The cataclysmic geologic history of the Mogollon region is visible on a large scale as well as up close within the sides of the canyons up here. Very cool structures along the sides, and the extremely diverse geologic structure of the area allows a lot of different kinds of plants to live side by side in places like they never would live that way anywhere else. High cold adapted species like the pines and such sweeping down into mixing with cacti and agave that were flowering everywhere. A diverse assemblage of foliage that, of course, also supports a really diverse group of animals.
Oh, it's not a snake, it's a lizard. Oh my God. No, no, no. Don't get away, don't get away, don't get away, don't get away. And he's got a full tail too. Oh my God. There we go. That's an alligator lizard with a full tail. Oh my God. All right. So this is the one non-snake target that I really had up here. I just barely saw his tail moving somewhere after hearing something. Thought it was a snake, and you can see why. Look at how long that tail is. Even better, it's a complete tail too, which is rare with these guys because they drop them so easily. Sir, but this is the Arizona or Madrayan alligator lizard. Alligator kingi. And these guys are actually closely related to the legless lizards of the eastern US, like the slender glass lizard I found on the last day in Oklahoma. You can go check that out on the channel too. But these guys are inhabitants of the high mountains up here. They like canyons, moist forested areas, the edges of streams and lakes and such. And they do get a little bit bigger than this, maybe up to 2 feet long. But to find one at almost any age that still has a perfect tail like that is so very uncommon because they drop them so easily. Anyway, I'm so glad. This is the first one that I can truly say I've seen alive, since the only other alligator lizard I've ever seen I accidentally hit last month in New Mexico before I realized it was a lizard and not just a leaf I was driving past. He moved and I did not notice in time. So I'm glad to see this guy healthy and well up here. That is such a gorgeous lizard. We're going to get a couple more photos and then let him go.
So as luck would have it, and as you'll see in later videos, I actually got to find several of these guys in other mountain ranges throughout the trip. And in each mountain range, the appearance of these guys is just a little bit different, so there's quite a bit of diversity in color. And they have quite a wide range in habitat as well, from sometimes 9,000–10,000 feet up in the mountains, but they'll also follow the river drainage areas, as long as there's enough vegetation and moisture, quite a ways down into the valleys as well. Down as low as 3,000 or 4,000 feet at times. But they really do like living in that really heavily vegetated, rocky areas, places where they can slip through and disappear in a heartbeat, and believe me, it can be really hard to get a hold of these guys sometimes.
Alright, sir, clearly you've had enough of me. So, here you go. Look at that. And away he goes into a little crack somewhere. You'd almost think at a glance that was a king snake, but cool enough. Alright, on you go, sir. There you go. Up the hill. There's a turkey down there. He's still visible. Oh, he's gone now. Dang it. I think we might have an elegant earless lizard here. That or some really fancy version of the lesser. Unless that's an ear on his side. Okay, I'm gonna have to check whatever this guy is. He's gorgeous. We got ourselves a very distant Gambel's quail out there. That's watching him run away at about a quarter mile. It's a hila. There's a hila monster right here. Would you look at that? Out on the crawl. Alright, if I'm not going to find a snake, that's definitely an awesome one to find. Can't touch them in any way. They are protected as endangered throughout their range in the US. That means Arizona, Utah, New Mexico, and Nevada. I think they're also in southeast California as well. Down here I believe it's the reticulated subspecies that is known. The only significantly venomous lizard native to the US, and one of only a handful native to the Americas at all. That is so cool. We're gonna get a couple of photos here and then leave him be to hunt quail eggs or whatever else he might be going after.
Hilas are truly a lizard like no other. The most brightly colored of the Heloderma genus, because the beaded lizards from further south are a lot darker usually. These guys, they are built, there's literally tiny bones throughout their skin, particularly across their head, which gives them that bumpy texture. It's an extra armor for surviving in this desert environment. And again, they're venomous. The venom is also designed, unlike most venoms, almost entirely for defense. They don't really need it for feeding on eggs or helpless chicks and things like that, so it's only for dealing with things that attack them. They have a vice-like grip, they have incredibly powerful jaw muscles, and they'll chew into you as the glands along the edges of their teeth secrete that venom, and they work it into the bite wound. And the venom will not kill you, but it might make you wish you were dead, because it is incredibly powerful, incredibly painful. And despite that, though, it is being used. There's actually several medicines that are being developed that are based on certain proteins within the venom for treating human diseases as well. So important not only for maintaining the ecosystem out there, but also potentially as sources of treatment for people. So it's a lizard to be respected for a number of reasons. And of course, they're just not common to see. You might go out hundreds of times and never be able to find one, or you might go out on your third trip to Arizona, like I did, and find one wandering right across your path.
And this is not too much a surprise. There's the first snake. It's a western Diamondback. What will probably be one of the most common snakes I see on this trip. Again, pretty standard appearance for the ones out here in Arizona. They're just those sandy browns. He's literally right by the car though, right as I'm about to leave this spot to go for the first hike at night. But hey, snake's on the board today. And now he knows I'm here and he's not happy. I guess there he goes. Good place for him though. Nobody else is gonna see him in there. We are starting off at a little park trailhead in kind of south of Phoenix. Hoping for speckled rattlesnakes and a few other cool things, so we'll see. Oh, and should mention it is currently 103 degrees out after sundown. And it's gonna take a while for it to really cool off. I've been walking for almost 40 minutes now. And unfortunately, the only thing I've seen so far was a gecko that got away. But it's a little disconcerting because this long after dark, I go up and I touch the rocks. That thing is still burning hot. Like 120 plus degrees. It's not really conducive to having snakes sit on it in ambush or wander about, so I wonder how long it will actually be before things cool off enough out here for stuff to pop out to the surface again. Because at this rate, it's gonna be a long while. Just had a roach of some kind flying into my face. He decided it was okay to land on my shirt. That is not a for you place, Mr. Roach. So go out there. I got a young kangaroo rat doing who knows what, just sitting here. Sir? Are you okay? Are you alive? There he goes. Huh, that was weird. Alright. It's not the most exciting of snakes, but we've got our first one on the crawl. Young Diamondback. Actually decent colors. Interesting pattern on the tail, only the couple bands there. He's got some pretty rich diamonds on his back too. But that's a good sign. If he's on the move, hopefully other things will be too soon. Because there's a lot of other rattlesnake species out here that I want to see. And we'll get a couple of photos of him and then leave him where he is. Up there's a second diamondback. Just kind of sitting out, waiting for food to pass by. Hey dude, can you tell me where the other species are? 'Cause you're pretty. Again with that sandy color. But we need some variety, you know? At least it's nice to see that the snakes are out. Or at least some of them. Just gotta figure out where everyone else is. He's content to just sit there and hope that nobody sees him, including his food, until it walks by. So they'll do this, they'll sit up, they'll find a probable rodent trail right along the edges of an open space, and they'll just sit and wait there until something goes by, and they hope they tag it. So we'll just leave him be. So, with only 2 diamondbacks on the mountain once again, I figured out it was just way too hot up there and still rather warm down here. Need a good rain. It is almost 11 o'clock at night Arizona time, and it is still only just now dropped below 100 degrees Fahrenheit. It is very warm out here. So I'm hoping some things are moving, but could be a sparse night. Well, we found a couple of diamondbacks, but the evening otherwise didn't quite go as hoped. It's just it was too hot, way too dry out here in the main valley. I'm hoping that the rest of the week will go better though. Starting tomorrow down near the Ajo Valley. It's still going to be dry, unfortunately, but it's supposed to be quite a bit cooler, so I'm hoping that will be enough to help bring out a few other animals, since if the diamondbacks are active at 100 degrees, maybe some of the other reptiles will be out and active at 85 degrees at this time of night. Fingers crossed. But until then, though, if you'd like to help support educational videos like this, if you'd like to see things like this, consider joining as a patron at patreon.com/hcarlton. Members there do get special benefits back, early access to the videos, exclusive membership seed contests, exclusive merchandise, and more. And if you can't do a monthly subscription like that, there's also donations that can be taken at coffee, or you can buy things at carltoncarnivores.com. The links for those will be down in the video description below. And if you can't support financially, simply liking the videos here, sharing, leaving comments, subscribing to the channel really helps. And of course, if you want to see more informational stuff, you can always go to the database or blog on the Carlton Carnivores website, or find me for more photos and videos and tidbits on social media. Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, all at Carlton Carnivores. But until next time, I'm Hawken Carlton, and this is Carlton Carnivores.